all of our Samsons and Samsonettes who are waiting to get their hair cut, just remember what Nietzsche said to us: whatever we don't trim only makes us stronger. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be able to celebrate Shabbat with you. And this is a very special Shabbat. This is a Shabbat where we honor all of our young people who have completed their religious school. 11th grade is the last grade we have here at Congregation Kol Ami. And this year, we're going to be honoring Rebecca Fripp, Natasha Silverlabe, Hannah Tell, and Michael Cohen, all of whom will be graduating. So if they have not actually been with us since the very beginning, since pre-kindergarten, all of these young people completed their bar or bat mitzvah, have been involved in the religious school, have been madrachim, getting a taste of what it's like to lead other people in learning Torah, and they've been part of my high school program. So these are young, committed Jews, the Jews of our future, and it's our privilege to be able to honor them. But we're going to get started here with a very special nigun. One of the things that I've been working with Lindsay is we're going to introduce a couple more English language Jewish pieces of music. And this is a lovely piece that I came across. It's the product of a band called Girls in Trouble, which I think is a reference to their experience in Jewish camp. But in any case, they wrote a lovely, lovely song called Wise-Hearted Women. And we're going to use the nigun to start us out, the wordless melody, and then we'll be singing it for the conclusion of the service. So, Lindsay?
Hello, everybody. So I'm just going to sing the melody of this song with Lilis, and we will sing it with words at the end of the service. And that way, if you don't know the word, that's okay. You can sing the Lilis. So it goes like this.
So it's time for us to do a good and blessing. And so I'm going to begin with my own good and blessing, which is the very exciting new mixing bowl that I got for my KitchenAid blender. I have a wonderful KitchenAid blender and it's fire engine red. And I broke my bowl, which was like devastating. I've got all these black bananas at home and nothing to do with them. So I immediately ordered one, but the one I ordered is gold. It is a golden bowl. And you know what that means? It looks like Iron Man. It totally looks like Iron Man now. It's all red and gold. So I've now named my KitchenAid mixer Tony. So that's my good and blessing for today. I know that Violet sent us a notice that she wanted us to congratulate everyone who is graduating. We're celebrating our 11th graders, but of course there are young people across the Metroplex and across the United States who are graduating. It's their 12th grade, their final year of high school. We're very proud of all of them and we wish them all success in the future.
So Tanta Violet said that she had the delight and pleasure to work with each of these students in kindergarten. She remembers each one for how they blossomed, and our world is better because they are in it. Mazel tov and success to each of them.
Kol hakavod, and absolutely true. They have been a delightful group of young people to work with. And what was true in pre-K and kindergarten is now on an order of magnitude in high school. I've just loved working with these young people who I generally dub my favorite Jews. So, any other good and blessing going on in any of our gathered group? Harold.
I am so happy after 60+ days to have been able to get a haircut this week.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking next week for me, but yes, I'm so glad that you were able to get a haircut. It becomes surprisingly annoying as a child of the 70s. I shouldn't be bothered by this, but it actually torments me a bit.
It's not annoying. It was getting to the point where I could squeeze it together and maybe put a rubber band around it because it just kept curling up.
That's just, you know, whatever we don't trim only makes us stronger, Harold. So any other good and blessing? If that's the case, this is it for now. We're going to go ahead with our service, and we're going to begin with the kindling of the lights of Shabbat. And I'm imagining, I've been using the president to do this, that it would be great if Casey could come up and kindle the lights of Shabbat. Would you be willing to do that, Casey?
Yeah, we're far apart from each other.
I will step away. So I'm going this way. Casey is going to lead us in Shabbat lights. It'll be on page 1.
I broke a match.
I'm sure that's good one somewhere.
Not here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. In the beginning, when the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, God's first creation was light. As we kindle these Shabbat lights, we attest to the majesty of God's work and rejoice in its beauty. Light is a symbol of divinity and creative goodness. It is the outward sign of that inner spark which God has granted each of us. In hope and with love, we now welcome Shabbat with light. Praised are you, Adonai, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvot and inspires us to kindle Shabbat lights. May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen.
Thank you, my dear. We appreciate your participation. We're glad you're back. What we're going to do is we're going to keep our Kabbalat Shabbat relatively short because we want to get to our young people. So we're going to start on page 3 with Yismechu Hashemayim, Psalm 96. Let the trees of the forest rejoice with the heavens and the earth exulting. And then we're going to proceed on to Lecha Dodi. And we're going to get to the meat of the service.
ישמחו השמיים,
השמיים, ותגר הארץ. השמיים, ותגר הארץ. Iram hayam, Iram hayam, Iram hayam, umelo. Iram hayam, Iram hayam, Iram hayam, umelo. Iram hayam, Iram hayam, umelo. Iram hayam, Iram השמיים, השמיים, on page 3. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder. The fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of Adonai. For Adonai is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its people faithfully. I invite you all now to proceed to Lecha Dodi on page 7. And I'm going to be asking Don Dossie to help me welcome the Sabbath at the door on the 4th stanza. Lecha Dodi. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to give thanks to Adonai and to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a harp, with voice and lyre in unison. And the righteous, they shall bloom like a palm. They shall thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. We continue now with Hatzi Kaddish.
יתקבל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועל מה יברהילותי וימיך מלכותי, והיכון וביום יכול, ובהי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח יתפאר ויברום וינשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קדושה בריבו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושפחתה ונחמתה תמירה בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
Able to rise for the Baruch Hu.
La 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 et Adonai המבורך, המבורך, לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך, לעולם ועד.
Aruvim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aruvim. Bochachma poteach sharim uvitvana mishanei itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakokavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirotzono. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'hoshech mipnei or umavir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uven layla. Adonai tzvaot shemo, El Chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. May God govern us always to the end of time. Praised are you, Adonai, who makes the evening fall. Ahavat olam, unending is your love for your people. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts you have taught us. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. And then your love shall never depart from our hearts. Blessed is Adonai, who loves the people Israel. Before we go to the Shema, I want to introduce the first of our 11th graders who are going to be helping leading service. And this young lady is actually technically not an 11th grader. Rebecca Fripp is a 12th grader graduating and finishing high school this year. She was not able to celebrate last year her graduation from religious school. So she returned from the land of Israel, where she spent months in a course there, and rejoined our high school class and has been with us for the last year. And so she is participating in the year that she missed. She's going to be leading us in Via Hafta in a moment, but we begin with the Shema. Lindsay, would you lead us in the Shema?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai
Eloheinu,
Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Yevot Malchuto, Leolam Ha'ed.
Rebecca Fripp.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשופך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אליכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Thank you, Rebecca. We continue with Emet and Emunah. Emet ve'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu ki Adonai Eloheinu ve'ein zulato v'nachnu Israel amo. It's true and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good, and beautiful, this eternal teaching. With truth we hold to be forever certain, Adonai is our ruler, the rock of Jacob, shield of our salvation. Adonai, our God, you redeemed us from the land of Egypt. You set us free from the house of bondage. For this, the people who felt your love sang songs of praise to you. Living God, high and exalted, mighty and awesome, who humbles the proud and raises the lowly, who frees the captive and redeems the oppressed, who is the answer to all who cry out. All praise to God Most High, source of blessing. Like Moses and Israel, we sing this song of rejoicing. Mi chamoch, everybody. Hashkivenu. Grant that we lie down in peace, Adonai, our God, and on the morrow, O sovereign, raise us up to a life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace and guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war, famine, and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people, and over Jerusalem. Now we're going to be inviting Natasha Silverlabe to lead us in the first part of the tefillah. Natasha has not only been a faithful madrik in our religious school, but she's been very involved in BBYO, and she had the unique experience of being able to travel with BBYO to the former Soviet Union to go to Ukraine, which is actually her birthplace. And she'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But right now, Natasha is going to lead us in Adonai Sifatai Titach and the prayer Avot B'Ima'ot. Please rise if you're able.
Adonai Sephatai Pita Bufia Gita Ilateha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. What happened to the list?
Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei
האל הגדול
El Elyon גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר השתי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך חוזר ומושיע מגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Thank you, Natasha. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים וחסד, מחיי הכל ורחמים רבים, צומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לו מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע נאמן אתה לחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יכלו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. And if you happen to find yourself standing right now, you can sit down. We're going to continue by celebrating Shabbat. We're going to be using Yismechu v'Malachutacha on the middle of page 21 in our prayer book. come now to Reitzeh. Adonai, our God, show favor towards your people Israel and lovingly receive our prayers. May the worship of your people always be acceptable, for you alone do we hold in reverence. And we give thanks to you, Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation for every generation. And so we thank you and we recite your praises. Let all the living affirm you and praise your name as the God of our salvation and help. Praised are you, Adonai. Goodness is your name. All praises to you. We're not going to actually have Hannah helping us out in the service till we get to the Aleinu, but I do want to introduce you to her before she speaks. Hannah is another one of our faithful madrichim, has been involved in the religious school of CKA from her youth. She is also an avid and engaged leader within the Reform Youth Movement, NIFTY. She has recently been elected regional advisor, something she may be starting to regret now that we're facing the particular conditions we are. But I can't think of anybody I'd rather have working to help NIFTY out through these difficult times than Hannah. She's wonderful. So you'll be hearing from her in a few minutes. But for now, we're going to close out our prayers with Shalom Rav, asking God for sweeping, abundant peace, and may it come down like hailstones upon us all. Lindsay, would you lead us in Shalom Rav? And then we're going to take a few moments for our own silent prayers and meditation.
Shalom Aleinu. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Every year, graduation comes during the Sifrat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer. It's the period from Passover when our people are released from bondage, the birth of a nation, as it were, and we make a journey of 49 days to arrive at Mount Sinai, where we celebrate our second holiday, Shavuot, the giving of the Torah. And in some ways, that image of that journey of 50 days is like a microcosm of growing up. And so it is that I always ask our young people at graduation to share with us thoughts about their Jewish journey so far. And we're going to begin with our eldest of our students, Rebecca Fripp, who is going to share some reflections on her Jewish journey so far.
Hi, everyone. All right. Last year at this time, I was having the most Jewish experience possible. I was studying Hebrew and Jewish history, along with all of the standard classes any junior in high school takes in the land of Israel on URJ's semester abroad Heller High. I learned about the fall of Masada on top of the abandoned fortress of Masada at 6 a.m. with the sun rising behind us. Studying in the land of Israel helped to reaffirm what I learned in CKA, that Judaism, to me, is the people. Judaism is all about questioning the world around you, especially if you are the only one asking the question. To me, Judaism is about believing in those around you and believing that it is possible to make the world a better place through Tikkun Olam. Judaism is about the history that has created who we are today. Today, we are a strong, unique, and diverse community that seems to have more opinions than people. Today, we are a people who do not shake in fear in the face of hatred. Today, we are the Jews. However, I could not have learned this without the help of my Sunday school teachers and friends. If I listed all of them and their impact of me, then I would still be up here giving this next year. Everyone has impacted me in their own unique way. Sedona helped me to understand the language of the Jews and what we are saying in the prayers. Miss Helena helped me become a proper Jewish adult with my bat mitzvah. My father, Dr. Michael Fripp, helped to show me that there is more than one way to understand God, and when in doubt, burn something. Tante Violet showed me that it was possible for me to be the grown-up in the room. Kathy showed me the power of persistent patience. Silent Bob, for him, there are no words. Instead, we have a moment of silence. Lindsay Wurtzel helped me to understand the power of speaking up for myself. Jacob Eckberg showed me the best way to connect with God is by helping those less fortunate. And Rabbi, he talked about hands-on Judaism. I learned from him that the best way to connect with God is by injuring yourself at least once. To all that I said and everyone that I did not say, thank you. This year, I graduated not only from CKA high school, but also from regular high school. In the fall, I'll be off to college. When this happens, I take all that I know from blood-related families and people who are families and everything but blood. I will miss you all. I take my Judaism with me. When I go to college, I plan to join the Hillel and to join a club that helps the world through engineering. Both of these are what Judaism is to me. Judaism is the connections that I make with other Jews at Hillel and helping the world, which is something that I can do with this club. I wish you all luck on your own endeavors. I hope to see you guys eventually.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's now my delight to ask Natasha Silverlade to share her thoughts with us.
So although I was not born into Judaism, I was still able to feel a tight connection to the people and the traditions. I want to say that my bat mitzvah was the true time of connection, but if I really think about how I connected to my heritage and my people, it would have to be through an international convention hosted by BBYO. A few months ago, my family was given the honor of hosting international delegates that happened to be from my home city in Ukraine. To be able to talk and connect with someone who is Jewish and lives across the globe was an eye-opening experience. The fact that Jewish people are still alive and thriving is remarkable. Even with the rise of anti-Semitism, our people still thrive and continue to live on. During the international convention, I felt connected, knowing that everyone around me was Jewish and we were all fighting for the same cause. Alongside that, to hear from people within the local and greater community talk about their experiences with Judaism and their fight for Judaism makes me proud to say I am a Jew. Our people have fought for thousands of years to become people who can make an impact. And to see the next generation of Jewish kids all in the same place, all fighting for the same cause and celebrating really makes me proud to be connected with my heritage. I don't think I can attribute my Judaism experience to one person alone. That would take all night. But recently, my family and I have been doing Zoom calls with our extended family, ranging from Maryland, New York, and Connecticut. We have all picked a time to light the candles, say the prayers over the bread and wine, and just be able to connect with each other. I rely on my family the most to help me grow, and they have been there every step of the way, teaching me about their traditions or their lack of traditions for that matter. I've always counted on my parents and a bigger Jewish community to help me grow and learn. In the future, the Jewish people can count on me to continue on the traditions that my parents have continued to pass on to me. I think it's very important for traditions and legacies to be passed down from generation to generation, or else our already small population will start to dwindle even more. I hope to one day be able to travel back to the small community in Ukraine, which is where my Jewish journey started. I've heard so much about who they are as a community, what they stand for as a community, and the lives they've affected as a community. I think it's remarkable how that small community has really changed the path of my life for the better. No matter what profession I go into, I will always fight for Jewish people's voices and views to be heard, and hopefully try to answer some of those. Wherever I may end up in the future, I will hold on to my traditions and pass them on to my children. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. And we're going to finish out with Hannah Tell. Hannah?
Being Jewish is my favorite thing about myself. Because of my Judaism, I have been able to have incredible experiences that have shaped who I am and given me my best friends and favorite memories. I have been going to the URJ Green Family Camp since I was 7 and been involved in NIFTY since I was old enough. Because being Jewish has given me the opportunity to grow as a leader and develop my identity not only as a Jew, but as a person. There are many people that have helped me to shape my Jewish identity. First, I think about all of my camp counselors I've had over the many years I've been a URJ camper. Second, I think about all of my NIFTY role models I've had who have taught me so much about leadership. Then I think about all the Sunday school teachers and youth group advisors I have had who have always encouraged me and believed in me. Next, I think about my family, my parents, my sister Naomi, grandparents, and cousins who have instilled Jewish values in me and made me proud of being Jewish. Finally, I think about Rabbi, who has known my parents longer than I have. I say it a lot, but I truly believe that Rabbi Dennis is the best rabbi. He has taught me so much in confirmation these past few years and has always made learning fun. He has also helped me go to camp every year, which has been the most transformative thing regarding my Jewish identity. 3 weeks ago, I was elected to the Nifty Torah Regional Board, and for the next year, this will be my main source of Jewish experiences. In college, I plan on double majoring in Jewish studies and pre-law, with the hope of one day working for the Religious Action Center, which is the social justice branch of the URJ, and then later becoming a human rights attorney. There's a lot of uncertainty about the future right now, but I know that no matter what, my future adult life will be full of many more meaningful Jewish experiences.
Thank you, Hannah. So I get to finish this out with the following observations. One of the secret inter-rabbi rules of Kol Ami that the young people are aware of is that every religious school child is a delightful Jew to me, and they remain delightful Jews until they sign up for my high school class, in which case they shift into the status of a favorite Jew. And these three young people are indeed favorite Jews of mine. I have spent so much time with them. We've had so many experiences together. I can't help but think of each and every one of you as part of my family. And as I said to you earlier today, I hope that even if you move out of the sphere and orbit of my life to other places, I hope you will always think of me as someone who is there for you in the future. Whatever it is, you can always come back home because you're my favorite Jews. But now I want to reflect on something bigger than just that, and that is a cliche. It's a cliche in virtually every graduation speech that the speaker will somehow get around to saying something to the effect of, oh, you are entering into a changing world. But this year, we really mean it. Holy toot. The world's going to Gehenna and a Seder plate. It's hell and a Havdalah candle. It's just horrible. Rebecca, as a 12th grader, you are experiencing this unprecedented, all I can describe it as, is living on a desert island graduation year, cut off from your school and your classmates. The high school students who have been to Israel recently have had to watch from afar as the Jewish state, so beautiful and successful, only months ago, is now rocked by COVID, shut down, and engaged in a crazy, protracted government stalemate. And just so that you 11th graders don't feel left out of this catastrophe, you've now encountered the sudden halt of Jewish camp, the cancellation of BBYO AZA summer events, and the related financial crisis that the Union for Reform Judaism and our national youth group, NIFTY, are undergoing. It's just this week that we've learned about the full impact of how the end of these summer events have affected us all. It seems like the once solid ground of your lives has shifted under all of you. Normally, we say to our Jewish graduates, you are entering a land you've never known. But this year, it's more like every Jew for themselves, because it's all just falling apart. So, normally, the journey of Abraham to the land of promise is the theme we talk about at graduation. This year, however, I think it appropriate to pick a text that comes from a book of the Bible that virtually no one quotes from, the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah, who is Nehemiah? Nehemiah, he's not a prophet, he's not a king, he's not a psalmist or a poet or a warrior or a chieftain. He's a bureaucrat. He's an administrator. Nehemiah was the Jewish governor appointed by the king of Persia to oversee the return of the Jews from Babylon to their broken, shattered city of Jerusalem and the abandoned land around it. And the text I want to share with you is what he said to the discouraged, beleaguered Jews he found when he arrived at this pathetic excuse for a city. Let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hand for the good work. That's it. Not the great words of an orator, but the simple instructions of a governor and the outcome of what he asked. Frankly, we don't know what the Jewish community is going to look like in the next year. The disruption wrought by COVID-19 and all of the shutdowns and all of the decisions we've had to make, the effect to our lives, to the economy, to our nation, still have yet to play themselves out. We are still in the middle of this particular history. We have no idea where we're going. No one does, except we have something to work with because we are Jews. Nehemiah didn't know where it was all going to end up. He didn't know where he was going. His solution, however, was simple. The Jewish solution to every crisis, every loss, every oppression, and that's let us rise up and build. Like Jerusalem in Nehemiah's time, everything is a wreck. Nothing works. The walls have been broken. Barbarians may be on the other side of the gate, but Jews, we build, we restore, we move forward. We don't expect you to face the future alone because you are Jewish. We are here for you. Together, we are going to work on this task. And you're not alone, God forbid, but we don't expect you to do this by yourselves. On the other hand, we don't think we can do it without you. So we need you all to do this work, to carry forward. So as you are finishing your Jewish education, the best that we could give you in our time, in our capacity, it's time for everyone, all of us, rabbis and congregants, students and teachers, young and old, to pick up the tools of our tradition. What are they? What has helped us rebuild each and every time? The Talmud says it's always, always God, Torah, and the people Israel. Or if you prefer, our spiritual tradition, our textual tradition, and our community. These are the three tools we have, and we are going to have to set to work. It's not going to be glamorous work. It's not going to be easy, but it's also not unfamiliar to the generation of Jews before you and before us. The prophet Isaiah understood the potential in the simple task of building when he assured us with these words, Adonai will always guide you. He will satisfy you in a sun-scorched land and strengthen your body. He will be like a well-watered garden. He will make you like a spring whose water never fails. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins. You will restore the age-old foundations. You will be called repairers of the breach, restorers of the streets to life. That's the task before us. That's the task that has been foisted upon you. Let us together work to make the next few years better than the strange and painful years we've had this year. Shabbat Shalom, and we send you all with joy and peace. And let us all say, all right. So now it's my privilege to invite up our president, who is first going to say some announcement to you, and I'm going to show you some of your prizes, which you don't have right now. And then she's going to do announcements. So Becky.
Whew, feel like I can breathe. First, I want to say to the confirmands this evening, you each spoke something that was so uniquely you, but at the essence of it, your Jewish identity, the foundations that you gather here came through in each of your speeches tonight. And I think that's just a testament to your community ties here and the education and the foundation that you had. So congratulations to each of you. This is something very unique. And I think you should look at it as special because there aren't going to be, hopefully, another class of confirmands that does confirmation quite like this. So you have a unique experience. Please take it as a positive as you move forward. Plus, it's probably recorded. So at some point, your parents could probably send this out to somebody if they wanted to embarrass you further in your lifetime, or maybe bring it up at
college graduation or your wedding or the birth of your children. Who knows? But now it's out there forever in the land of the internet. So think long and hard about that. So this evening, I'd also want to say to the folks who volunteered to be Minion this evening, thank you very much. It's always nice to see everyone, the limited of us that are here. You too, out there in YouTube land, could be a part of this. The Minion list is on our website. If you're really looking for someplace to go on a Friday night and looking for a way to give back, there are still slots available for the next few weeks. We will continue to review what we're going to do as to whether or not we open up services once we get to June. But for right now, we're going to stick with this through May and just follow it a very measured course. And as I say these words each Friday, please bear with us as we're so very concerned about your health and safety. So the little bit of exciting news that I have in terms of announcements, because we really just don't have that many, is that beginning Monday, we are announcing that the CK office will be open Monday, May 18th. Rabbi and Bob will be resuming their normal office hours. So should you need to come by, please, please, please consider wearing a mask and maintaining social distance if you come by. Secondly, while I know you all are just dying to see Bob and you're dying to see Rabbi, maybe a poor choice of words. I'm sorry, as I say that in my head, it didn't sound right. Please just know it really needs to be, if you're going to swing by, it needs to be for something essential, not a chit chat session. I know y'all all really want to get back here, but we just strongly encourage you that it needs to be for something necessary. So moving forward, we're going to continue our Friday night services this way with our online Minion, in-person Minion, with the sign-up sheet. And then beginning in early June, we'll consider return to our Torah and Tefillah on Saturday. I'm going to flip it back to Rabbi for Mishaberach, the word I actually do remember this week that I couldn't remember last week.
Well, just to finish out with the confirmands, I do want to tell you that, first of all, we make a point here at Congregation Kolami, we take your education seriously enough that we're going to give you a diploma. And so anticipate in the near future that your diploma, signed by myself and the religious school director and the president, will be coming so that you can prove to anybody who asks that you made it through 11th grade in a Jewish school. And we also have a prize for you, since I think metaphor that is most suitable for what's happening to you is the journey, as we've suggested earlier, that I'm going to give you this book, The Interjourney, which is full of wonderful, short and beautiful, inspiring essays by some of the greatest Jewish thinkers of the past 100 years. It also includes 2 essays by a very third-rate rabbi from North Texas. So all of that is there for you. Now it's time for us to be thinking about the people that we want to bless through our prayers and our thoughts and our support with Mishaberach. So start thinking about anybody who is ailing in body or spirit that you would like to include in our prayers by naming them. The names that we have here are Anna Binder, Sid Binder, Dave Cook, Eric Dubnow, Lucy Goff, Michelle Griffith, Dr. Mel Gross, Judy Horowitz, Deb Kaufman, Clayton Kirkwood, Alex Koenig, Lauren Koenig, Bill Lee, Sandy Lenzner, Judy Morisak, Don Neal, Adrian Sandler, Myra Schussler, and Ben Weisbard. Who else has a name for someone we should include in our prayers?
Eli asked that we include everyone suffering from the effects of COVID-19.
We will. We will include all of the Americans who are having to deal with this. Oh, heck, everybody in the world. We'll include them all. Anybody else?
Esther Fripp.
Esther Fripp. We will include Esther in our prayers also.
Eric
Anybody in the room?
Eric Tell.
Thank you. Oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have the prayer book and you turn to page 40, you will find the Mishaberach. Most of us know it by heart, but if you need to, you can find it there. Lindsay, will you lead us in Mishaberach?
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing, let the renewal of body, renewal of spirit, and let us sing Amen.
So I alluded earlier to Hannah Tell and how Hannah was going to help us in the next part of our service on the Aleinu. So I'm going to invite Hannah to take over Zoom, and I'm going to invite the rest of you to please rise. I'll open the ark and Hannah will lead us.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol v'ateit gedula v'yotzer breshit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishpachot hadama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'nachnu korim Umishtakavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamalchim hakadosh baruch hu. V'govei meromim hu Eloheinu einod emet malkeinu efesuato kakatu b'torato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim ima'al V'al ha'aretz mitachat ein od. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Thank you, Hannah. And now, as is our custom, we take time to think about all the people who have passed away in our community and in our families. We begin with Shiva. We have no one listed this week for Shiva, but if you have a name that you would like to share with us, please do so.
Marion Goldberg.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. No, actually, he's been moved to Shloshim. Yeah. So for Shloshim, we're thinking of Jerry Cagle. We're also thinking of Ralph Candelario Jr., and we're also thinking of Marjorie Zamachow. And we're thinking of those family members who are mourning for them. Is there anyone else here in Shloshim, anyone who's lost a loved one in the last 30 days? Our yard sites, our anniversaries of death, we want to think of these individuals connected to our community. Carl Belarski, Bruce Birnbaum, Sidney Goff, Max Levine, Hans Loeb, Morris Mead, and Ralph Sarlin. Is there anyone else observing a yard site?
Rita Tavor.
Rita Tavor, thank you. Well, for those who hold these memories dear, may the memories of your loved one grow in sweetness as the years pass. The rest of us would like to join you in rising together to recite Kaddish in sympathy for your loss. Page 85. Page 85. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Israel bagalal uvizman kariv imru amen Yehei shmei rabbah v'vrach be'olam u'lamei amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekutsha baruchu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'elma v'imru amen Yehei shlama rabba mim shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved. And let us say, Amen. So please be seated. We're going to circle around to what I was saying at the beginning of the service, which is that if you go to camp, camp is a huge ferment of creativity, and that includes music. And one of the pieces I'm familiar with that has come out of the Jewish camp system is the work of a band called Girls in Trouble. They've written a number of songs with contemporary themes, but they've also tackled beautiful poetic compositions related to stories from the Bible. And we're going to be hearing Lindsay introduce us to this song, Wise-Hearted Women. It's really wise-hearted men and wise-hearted women, but we got to give the women a shout out. And it's a lovely, lovely poem about building the Mishkan and about building Jewish life. And I can't think of a more appropriate song I'd like to have us conclude with this night than a song about building life in the world. Lindsay?
Wise-hearted men, wise-hearted women, bring what you can, silver and linen, full of crimson and blue, and the bodies I gave. Make me a tent that I can dwell in, incense and oil and precious stone, and where you walk, I'll walk beside you, and where you live shall be my home. Let's unlearn guide them well, make me a place to dwell. Melt down your calm embers to make a sacred home, and every day when you change, wash your bodies and your souls. Build me a lamp of 7 branches of a single piece of gold, with and darts like golden blossoms from their petals I will blow. Oh, holy eye, fill them with love. Make me a place to live. Be an altar of acacia, on its corners place for rings. Fill me a pair of golden angels to guard my words beneath their wings. Weave me a cloth with angels' faces, just the finest thread can sew. And when I see you all surround me, I will know that I am home. Wise-hearted man, wise-hearted women, bring what you can, silver and linen.
Thank you, Lindsay. I do need to report, because Bob, the master of all information, has reminded me. Originally, it was planned that we would have 4 confirmands and that Michael Cohen would be the 4th. As it turns out, for reasons that are probably entirely my fault, the Cohen family ended up on the YouTube page rather than on the Zoom, so his planned participation was short-circuited. So I just want to recognize Michael as one of our graduates and just share a little bit about him. Michael has not only been a dutiful madrik serving alongside his mother, who has been our temple librarian. He is also the son of one of our most important and influential congregants, Bruce Cohen, past president. But in addition to that, I had the privilege and delight of traveling to the land of Israel with Michael and being able to share the experience with him. And he is a wonderful young man. I want to include him in all the blessings and well wishes that we have for everyone else. And sorry that your rabbi flubbed the technical side of this particular thing. So I don't want to exclude Michael, but recognize that he too is one of our graduates this week. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. All blessings. We are going to do a little bit of our Seder for the night. We are going to do the Kiddush. And do we have halot? We do. So there's a bag of halot. So I'm going to commission one of our in-person people to bring that up and set it over here. I'm going to ask Lindsay to lead us in the blessing for Kiddush. Thank you, Joel.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishar b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shavat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon hinhilanu, zikaron lema'aseh b'reshit. Hu Yom Tehillah B'mikra'ei Kodesh Zeher Letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu V'harta Ve'otanu Kidashta Min Kol Ha'amim V'Shabbat Kodshecha Ve'ahava u'ratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Last week, we began the tradition of the 10 halot, representing our in-presence minyan. Thank you, Casey, for making these for us. And I extemporaneously thought, what a great idea. I'll just toss it to people. I didn't make that up. I have been looking this up. There actually is a Jewish tradition about throwing your challah. All right? No one can say exactly where it comes from. Some say it comes from Eastern Europe as far as Uzbekistan. Others say it comes from Yemen. That sounds like one of those things we always say when we're not sure, oh, it's a Yemenite tradition. But in any case, there is a tradition of throwing the challah. Why? One claim is that you don't want to pass it from hand to hand for, get ready for it, hygiene reasons. All right, so you would throw it directly to people. That seems a little too modern. On the other hand, there is another claim that because you pass bread from hand to hand to mourners at a meal for mourners, you don't want to mislead people into thinking that we're not happy sharing a loaf of bread. So according to this tradition, you throw it. And in fact, there are a number of Hasidic communities around the world that to this day throw their challah. So I'm not making this up, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in the bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And for our many people present, Bob, this one's for you. And Becky, this one's for you. Underhanded seems the best way to go. All right. We're going to try here, Harold. Oh, beautiful. All right, Don.
And they say baseball season hasn't started.
Exactly. Well, see, we can experience that joy. Don, I know you got 2 knees that have been repaired, but let's see what we can do here. Yes. Wow. All right. Helena, Don will save you. Oh, just a little short. Now I have to do, I think this is called a 3-point shot. I've got to throw this to Casey, our cook. She got it. And Samson. Oh, okay. And last of all, Joel, last but not least. Oh my gosh, I got to within 2 feet of every single person. You know, like the president, I'm a natural athlete. All right. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.